Hello everyone, my name is Catalyst and welcome to the How to Not Suck series, the grammatically incorrect series that teaches you how to play Battlefield. As you may know, we are going through every single specialist in the game before going through some more in-depth videos, going through each one, learning how to most optimally play them, learn their quirks, tricks, and then suggesting loadouts for them. The previous episode was on Sundance, so if you haven't seen that video or are interested in watching it, you can click the card in the top right hand corner of your screen if you are on a desktop, or you can click on the thumbnail at the end screen of this video. Today we're going to be going over Rao, a mixed bag specialist that has a bit of an identity crisis but can be one of the most useful specialists in the game. We're going to go over how his hacking abilities work and what the most useful situations are to use them in. Ready? Let's get to work. So Rao is a bit of a tricky specialist, and I'm sure that a lot of you are coming to this video either frustrated by his ability or simply just want to know how to use him more effectively. And that's mostly due to Rao having a bit of an identity crisis, as I described earlier. He is a specialist that really entices you to play aggressively to get the most out of his ability, but Battlefield 2042 is a game that at times can ruthlessly punish that type of aggressive gameplay, and doesn't really give you a lot of downtime to figure things out. So what I was finding was that when I was trying really hard to run an aggressive anti-vehicle kit to optimize my role as Rao, I found it difficult to stay alive long enough to make a lasting impact. Don't get me wrong, playing an anti-vehicle role is still the best way to play him, he just requires a bit of a mindset change and some good teammates. We'll get into what I mean a little bit later. First, let's go over his abilities and how they work. Rao's main ability is his cyber warfare suite, which allows him to hack vehicles and other world geometry around him. You can hack things like doors, roadblocks, and bridges, but in my opinion, those perks are fairly non-impactful in comparison to hacking vehicles. Hacking takes give or take about 5 seconds, and you do need to track the vehicle that you are targeting, so you can't just look at the tank, press the ability button, and then walk away from it. That would be honestly pretty overpowered if you could do that, to be honest. But no, you need to sit there and track the vehicle that you are attempting to hack. Once you have engaged the hacking process, you cannot hack a vehicle through solid objects, but what you can do is continue to hack them through smoke as long as you stay accurate with your tracking, which shouldn't be too difficult because when you start hacking a target, their aura is visible through walls and smoke. I'm sure that for those of you that have tried Rao, you'll notice that the hack can be janky at times, especially when you are in an area with a lot of cover around, or if you are trying to hack a vehicle that's further away, and your hack keeps getting reset because the vehicle is driving past trees or something. Well, DICE is actually going to be making some buffs to this ability in Update 3, which does launch today, that is going to give a grace period when hacking vehicles that are driving around in crowded areas or past structures. So that should make his hacking suite a little bit more reliable. Once you have completed the hacking process, that target is hacked for give or take 10 seconds and cannot use their weapons, countermeasures, or escape their vehicle, which is why you'll see a lot of players foolishly get out before you can complete the hack on the vehicle. After the hack has run its course, the vehicle cannot be hacked again for a brief period of time. I think it's around 15 seconds. You can also hack Rangers and Boris turrets, which I find extremely useful, and these hacks take around 3 seconds to complete. I have been able to stare down a Ranger bot while he aimbots me from across the map and hack him before he was able to kill me, but I would not suggest trying that at home. As far as I can tell, there is no indication for teammates when vehicles are hacked, so that's why I said you need to have really good teammates or coordination to go along with Rao if you really want him to be effective. Normally, I would say that you should just communicate with your squad, but there is no in-game voice chat currently in 2042, so yeah. Next is Rao's Trojan Network, which allows him to hack enemy specialists, and if they are killed, they reveal the location of other enemy specialists around them. I believe the radius is around 15 to 20 meters. The Trojan Network is, well, a little finicky, to say the least. Similar to cyber warfare, you cannot hack through walls or glass, but you can hack through smoke if the hack begins before the enemy player rushes into smoke, and you have to track the player perfectly for the hack to go through, which is obviously a little bit more difficult than hacking a gigantic 55-ton tank. Something that is really nice is that when you begin to hack a player, their class type will be displayed above their head, so something I've done in some select situations is when I see somebody far away, I will begin to hack them so I can see their class type above their head and get an idea of how to play the situation. Hacking enemies at further ranges, again, is very finicky and precise since it is tied to your center reticle, so I would almost say that realistically, using the hack to gain information is more useful than standing there in the open trying to hack a player at longer ranges. You should really only be using the Trojan Network at shorter ranges, and I would only really use it when you are behind enemies or on a flank in a secluded area, because as I've already kind of talked about, hacking players is more difficult than a large vehicle, and I would say that I've been killed more times trying to hack players than I have actually successfully hacked players. Not only that, but the hack duration is very short, so you need to kill the player you are hacking relatively quickly in order to get the benefits. Something that you may have noticed is that when Rao is in his hacking suite, there are pings that go out around you, and the function of this is to spot vehicles and players for you to hack. However, the way this works is that vehicles and players need to be in your line of sight for them to be pinged on your minimap, so you can't, for instance, stand beside a doorway and ping inside to see if there are enemies in there. I wouldn't focus on this aspect of Rao's kit. I think it's more or less pretty useless, considering you have to be staring down an enemy in the face in order for him to be pinged on your map, and at that point, if you're looking at a target, you probably know whether or not you intend to hack him. So as you've probably gathered by now, Rao is a bit of an interesting specialist, and he certainly has a higher skill ceiling than other specialists in the game. Some people think that he's underrated, some people think that he's overpowered. On paper, he is probably the second strongest specialist in the game in terms of his abilities productivity on the battlefield, next to maybe only Angel, but in my opinion, in practice, he seems really weak at times too, and it's very obvious to me that there were a few boardroom meetings at DICE about exactly how to balance him, because he has the potential to be extremely annoying and overpowered if he wasn't balanced this way, and I think that's why he can be so frustrating to use at times, which is why I said that Rao has a bit of an identity crisis. This is by all intents and purposes an anti-vehicle specialist that struggles to destroy vehicles, not because his ability is bad, but because oftentimes it takes too long unless you are alone, because Battlefield 2042 is so chaotic, which is why I found him to be much more useful in Conquest than I did Breakthrough. I can't tell you how many times I hacked a vehicle and tried to destroy it just to get overwhelmed or killed before I could actually finish the job. Do you remember that mindset change I talked about at the beginning of the video? Well, this is it. The way to play Rao isn't to destroy vehicles, it's to annoy the living shit out of them. If you'll excuse my language, the worth in playing Rao doesn't come in the number of vehicles that you can destroy, it comes in how many vehicles you can piss off. And I know that seems a little juvenile, but I became so much more effective when I hacked an enemy vehicle and teed him up and just kind of left him, as opposed to hyper-focusing on getting the kill and getting myself killed in the process because I wasn't as aware of my surroundings, which again, it is a bit counterintuitive, because as players, if we hack a vehicle and it's dead in the water in front of us, the urge we get is to go for the kill, but unless you are 100% sure that you can destroy the vehicle, like if the vehicle is on half health or in a bad spot, you'd be better off just letting a teammate handle it and getting the assist points and playing your life to stay alive. Rao is a really unconventional set it and forget it type of anti-vehicle specialist. You get a lot of value simply from playing Rao and hacking vehicles, giving your vehicles and teammates easier opportunities to win their fights and destroy them. That's one of the extremely rare good things about having 63 other players on your team, is that even if you don't have the opportunity to take down a vehicle, there's about 10 other dudes behind you lying in wait that will have an opportunity to take them down. So with that all being said, what's the best loadout options for Rao? Well, I think that Rao is a really good candidate for ARs, especially after the new update that fixed spread on the assault rifles. The AK-24 with high power extended rounds, angled grip, and a champion muzzle brake with a sight of your choosing is my favorite option. I hate the iron sights on the AK. I would also say that Rao is a great specialist to snipe with. As I alluded to earlier, Rao really flourishes when he can hack vehicles away from the battle, so you can get a lot of value by playing with your preferred sniper rifle, and as I said, setting hacks on vehicle and forgetting about them while you snipe enemies from afar. I would argue that he is a better recon specialist than Casper for that matter. As for gadgets, I would equip frag grenades or EMP grenades for your throwables, and for your other gadget, basically equipping the anti-vehicle gadget for whatever is annoying you the most in that given moment. So if you're getting hounded by air vehicles one round, run a stinger. If it's land vehicles or bolts in another round, run some C5 and a recoilless. I think if you had to choose one, run the recoilless. It just gives you the most adaptability on the battlefield. And as always, at the end of the video, I give suggestions for compatible specialists if you are running around in a squad. For Rao, I would suggest Sundance, Angel, and Falk. Playing Rao kind of forces you to put yourself in more perilous situations and without any self-sustain, since you're mostly running anti-armor gadgets, so Falk and Angel are almost essentials for health replenishing, armor replenishing, and ammunition. Of course, with Angel, he also has his loadout drop, so if you need to switch your kit to equip a stinger, he can call in the loadout, and it's very useful. And lastly, Sundance, as we talked about, is a really good tank hunter, so if you are looking for a teammate to really hunt down tanks with, Sundance is a good option with her anti-armor grenades and wingsuit mobility. If I had to rank him right now, I would say that Rao is the 6th the best specialist in Breakthrough, and the 4th best in Conquest. I find that Breakthrough is a little too chaotic for Rao to be effective, and you can get overwhelmed easily while using his ability. He is much better in Conquest, but an underlying theme throughout the video is that Rao needs good teammates to reach his full potential, and well, we all know how good our blueberries are in Battlefield games. That's the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you found this video useful and you enjoyed your time here. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and leave a comment. If you made it to the end of the video, it helps me out tremendously in the algorithm. If you enjoyed it just that much, you should consider subscribing, as I will be making more guides on the game and will be making tons of 2042 content and guides like this one moving forward. I stream 4 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday on my Twitch at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, thank you all for watching. My name is Catalyst, and I will see you all another time.